Hi, I'm Bogdan from DNN Sharp. In this video I will show you how to subscribe users to Campaign Monitor mailing lists using the integration we did in Action Form. And this is an add-on that you can purchase from DNN store and install after you have installed Action Form. If you're not already familiar with Campaign Monitor, it's basically a service that provides email marketing like MailChimp or like Constant Contact. This is the second integration we did with an email marketing software. The other one is MailChimp, and it will follow by Constant Contact. Enough talking, let's jump straight into action. I already have a page here, and I will start by adding an action form module. Note that I've already installed the add-on on this website, so I don't have to do that now. I'll go to the manage screen, and here in the startup screen I can choose a template to start from, and we've already created some templates for Campaign Monitor, and you can find it here. Subscribe to Campaign Monitor, hit start, and now you have a form with basic fields such as first name, last name, or email, but there are also some custom attributes that you can link into Campaign Monitor, and I'll show you that in a few. And if you open the subscribe button, you'll notice that the on-click handler already has some actions built into it. One would be the action to subscribe to Campaign Monitor, and one would be a confirmation message. And you can actually use this action as part of other forms, for example in a registration form, and I will show you this later in the video. So right now, if you expand this Campaign Monitor, you will be required to input some fields that will link to your account and to a list name. So here I am logged in on Campaign Monitor website. And here the first thing that I have to do, go to account settings, and you find the API key. It says API key, show it, and now I can get it in the clipboard and put it in my form. And then I would need a client ID, and the client ID is under client settings, your client name, edit, show client API info, client ID. So let's go back into Campaign Monitor. Clients, client settings, edit, show client API key, and you see we have a client ID here and the client API key here. We only need the client ID now. Let's get it in the clipboard and put it in the client ID. Next, we need a list name. So we're subscribing users to some list. So let's go and find this list. Go on list on subscriber. We already have a sample list, and maybe we can just use this one to avoid creating another. Next, the form asked me which one is the email field. This could happen, for example, that you have multiple email fields because you have a bigger form and the subscription is part of that process. And then you can choose to pass additional list data to Campaign Monitor list, but I don't have this set up, so I'll just remove them. I just remove the custom fields and just leave first and last name, and I will do the same with the fields. So now I have a form that will know to connect to this application. Let me save this and demonstrate it real quickly. Go back. So now I have a form that it has picked up my first name and username because I'm logged in. And this happened because these are put in the initial value. Yeah, and I can also do the same with the email. So now all my data is automatically filled in. So let me just put a valid email address and hit subscribe. And here it says I'm successfully subscribed to our mailing list. Let's go back to Campaign Monitor and refresh this to confirm the user was subscribed. So as you can see, we have one user and it's the email address I've just put in the form. Pretty easy though. And now I will show you how to build a more complex scenario. Let's say that we want to build a registration form and we want to make the subscribing we want to make subscribing to newsletter part of the registration form. So I'm just creating a new action form and I will start with the registration form template so I don't have to create it from scratch. And then I will add a new checkbox and I will call it subscribe to newsletter. And then maybe I should place this maybe above the button. Okay. And then I will show you how you can dynamically invoke an action based on this checkbox. So on the register button in the on-click handler you see the common actions like user registration and that a user profile update and finally the user login. And what I want to do, I will choose the subscribe to campaign monitor action, and here I would have to put the same data again, then choose which one is the email field, and finally I will pick up the name of the checkbox, which is subscribe to newsletter. I'll pick it in the clipboard, and then I will use it as a condition for this action. So I would say this action will only execute when this checkbox is ticked. And the checkbox represents a Boolean expression. That's why it was like this. If it was a text box, it would be a string and you'd have to compare it, for example, using the equal operator to something in order to generate a Boolean expression. But in this case, the checkbox is either true or false. Okay. So let me save this and demonstrate to you how it works. So I just create a new account. Let's say Mark. And then I will use a different email address. And then I will tick this subscribe to newsletter. Hit register. And now the new user is created. My profile is updated. And finally I'm logged in as this user. So let's go back to Campaign Monitor and refresh this list. So now you see that the second email address is also subscribed to this list. So what I wanted to show here is that you can actually use the subscribe action in any kind of form or workflow. Imagine that you're adding clients and you want to subscribe them to a newsletter. And one more thing to notice, there's also an unsubscribe action that pretty much works the same way. I hope this was interesting for you and thank you for your time.